Okay, this is going to be a little new for most of you, okay? So last chapter, or last section we're going to cover in this particular chapter. Some of the things in this section and the next section on parabolas, Mr. Veer will cover with you next year far more in depth, okay? I'm going to introduce them, we'll touch upon them come test time, but that's about it. Okay? We're going to deal with equations of circles. Now, your resources, make sure you go over these. Okay? On the notes I provided, pages 18 to 21. Okay, it's got all of these again, uses A and B instead of H and K. Okay? And the PowerPoint. Now, it's going to look very simple, and it is. Okay? I want you to think back when you first encountered the equation of a line. Okay? AX plus BY equals C, or the point slope form, Y equals MX plus B, and you realized that the actual line was the solution. Okay? You weren't finding a bunch of things, because every point on the line was part of the equation. The same is true with the equation of a circle. The actual circle, the set of points, which is the circle, is the answer as it is, okay? But what we're doing, just like we did with lines, we're going to find an equation that will represent that set of points, okay? And here's how we deal with it. The equation, okay, that you see right here, if you look at the H and the K, yes, they're in different colors for a reason, because those represent the center of the circle. Yes, X and Y in the center. We are talking about graphing here. Okay? Equals R squared. The R is the radius. Yes, I'm clever like that. Radius, red. That's all we're dealing with. Now, kind of what it looks like. Let's say the points H and K were both positive in, quadrant 1 here, and this is R. Well, this is also R, as is this, as is this. That's how we're going to draw it. I want you to notice that both of these are negative signs. So if both of these numbers are positive, nothing changes but those points. Okay, so we're going to see. Okay, let's say we've got x minus 5 plus y minus 8 equals 10 squared. Okay, first off, the radius is 10. If this was 100, we take the square root. The radius is still 10. Then you would have 5, 8 is the center. So you'd go to 5, 8, make a point, and then put several points, which are 10 units away, and connect the dots. That's what you're dealing with. Okay? If these signs are positive, that means that these, one of them, or both, is a negative number, which means it's going to be in a different quadrant for the center. Okay? Why is it like that? Well, remember, minus a negative gives you a positive. That's how it works. Okay? Hopefully with some of the examples, we're going to see what's going on here. Okay? Many of you are going to try to solve things that you really don't have to solve. Okay? I finally used a little common sense and wrote the directions below that big old white light up there. Okay? So write the equation of the circle. Okay? If the center is at 0, 0, okay? This is my H and the K, right there, okay? And the diameter is 18, we have to remember, so that means the radius is 9. So we use the equation. Okay, x minus 0, y minus 0 equals, that's it. That is the answer. You have followed the directions, and done what was asked of you. Okay? Can you simplify this? Yeah, you're going to see this looking like this. That's another way to write it. Okay? Because we're subtracting nothing. You don't have to worry about it. We can just go with that. But if there's numbers in there, we leave them in there. That's all we're going to deal with. Okay? Let's go to our next one. Okay? So, we've got H and K right here. And we have the R already. So, X minus -7 Y minus 11 okay, another way to complete this or write it differently. Another way to write that. Okay. Now, this one is where we have to do an extra step. Okay? We have the center, so we already have our H and K. Okay? But we don't have our radius. What we do have, if this is the center and the circle passes through this, remember in a circle the radius is the distance from the center to any point on the circle. So we have to use the distance formula. So yeah, we're going to have to remember that. Okay? So the distance equals x minus x, so we're just going to go, okay? Okay, 9 minus negative, that's plus. 3 minus 8 is negative 5. 100 plus 25. That's the radius. This is the equation. We can simplify. Okay? Okay? And that's what we've got. Okay? Minus the negative gives me the plus. Stays the same. Squaring a square root, remember we talked about it, cancels each other out, giving us just the 125. So 2 steps here. We have to find the radius before we can put it in the equation. Okay? Next. Now this is where sometimes we have issues. Okay? Okay. For each circle with the given equation, state the coordinates of the center and the measure of the radius, then graph the equation, which is graph the circle. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to sketch for right now. Okay. X squared plus y squared. Wait, what's this doing on this side of the equation? we can move it. Okay? Oh, well, that looks a lot better. Nothing is being added to x. Nothing is being added to y. So the center is 0, 0. There's no square there, so that tells me that 4 is what we're looking at. So the radius is 2, the square root of 4. Okay? Okay, for our sketch, okay? Your assignment is going to be on worksheets, and they're all going to have the graph for you, okay? So I'm going to be cheesy here. Okay? My center is at the origin, okay? And I would go, radius is 2, so 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, and you play connect the dots, okay? And there's the circle. It's actually pretty good. Usually my circles on graphs look like poop. Okay, so I've got a radius of 2, a center at 0, 0. So that is the equation of that circle. That's what we've got. Okay, this next one's going to give some of you problems, and I understand that. Okay? We've got all kinds of things in here, so what we have to do first is move some things around. Okay? And group by variable. Okay? And here's where I meant earlier, this could be an issue. I have no idea how many of you learned how to complete the square in your algebra class. I can't stop right now to teach you all how to do that. So, I'm not going to put something like this on your test, okay? Because that just wouldn't be fair to some of you. But Mr. Veer is going to cover that in depth for you. I promise you. Okay? So, we're going to walk through it here. When we complete the square, we have to add to both sides, like that. Okay? Remember, if you add to one side, you have to add to both. Okay, I'm going to use a different color real quick. Half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So I added 9 there. Half of negative 6 is negative 3. Negative 3 squared is positive 9. I added positive 9 there. There they are on both sides of the equation. Now I've got this. Negative 9, positive 9 cancels, leaves me with the 1, 9, which is 3 squared. So there's my radius. Here's my center. Okay, and a cheesy circle again. Okay, My center is at -3, +3. Right about there. My radius is at 3, so it's going to hit there, 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 there. Good. There's my normal circle on a graph. It kind of looks like an egg or Charlie Brown's head. Actually, Baby Stewie on Family Guy. Okay, but that's kind of what we're looking at. Okay, and our last one, okay, I'm going to give us a little room, because what I'm going to do here is call out our other board so we can see that a little better. Okay? This one tells us, write an equation of the circle that contains this set of points. Okay? Then graph the circle. I'm going to do it a little backwards. I'm going to start by graphing the circle. So if I've got -2, +2, there's a point. 2, -2 is right there. 6, 2 is right there. Okay? That should tell me that here is my center. So the radius is going to be 4. Okay? And our next point, 1, 2, 3, 4, would be -6, or 2, +6, excuse me. And there's the circle. It's cheesy, like I said. Okay, so our center okay. So our equation (4 squared or 16), your option. Okay? Math is at a minimum in this section. It's remembering what to plug in where. That's the key to the circles. Okay? The radius, we know what a radius is. It doesn't change its job at all. The center is the center. If we go back to the definition of a circle, the set of coplanar points, coplanar, all on this plane, that are equidistant from one common point, the center. Okay, so we've kind of come full circle. Yeah, I did that on purpose, sorry. That's where we're at. That's going to close out this chapter, okay? It's going to be a relatively quick assignment on this one, and we're going to pick up our review from there, okay? Very good, everybody.